Okay, so you can skip the intro preparation part of this video because I'm just going to explain what I'm going to do. So what I'm going to do is, or what I'm trying to do is, I want to create an installation of Windows where you don't have to click on anything. So it's unattended install. So you can literally just prepare your flash drive, put it in, boot up, walk away, and then when you come back, you'll be booted into Windows, everything installed. So you don't have to click on select language, country, partitions, whatever. So that's the whole idea of this. Now I wanted to see if I can do this using purely Microsoft. So keep it in the Microsoft family. Using only Microsoft tools, no third-party tools. Right, so the tools that you're going to need is the first one is the media creation tool. Now this you'll get when you go to the Microsoft site. When you download Windows 10 or 11, you can use the media creation tool to actually download the ISO for you or create a bootable USB flash drive for installation. So that's the first tool, and then the second tool is Sysprep. So this is going to prepare your system for imaging and deployment. So it's going to prepare it, strip away a few things so that you can actually take that installation, or that after you capture the image, you can install it on any computer and it's not going to have a problem. So I think it strips away IDs and drivers and stuff. And then it's going to have that initial boot up screen where you have to select stuff. So that's Sysprep. So, okay, and then the package that we're going to use is the ADK package. So you have to download this from Microsoft. And there's a bunch of tools in there, but we're going to use pretty much just one or two. So the deployment imaging tool, this is just if you want to convert the install.wim. So this is the actual image file. If you want to convert that to an ESD file, now the only reason why you want to convert it is better compression. So the ESD file will be smaller than the WIM, but you don't have to do it. You can just use the WIM file, the install.wim. Right, and then this is the most important program that you're going to use in the ADK package, Windows System Image Manager. This will create an answer file for you. So the answer file is just, it answers a bunch of questions for you. So like what language to select, keyboard, a few of those things. So it automates the stuff. Right, and then we're going to use a few commands. So again, Dism capture image. So after you've sysprepped, you're going to run the Dism capture image, and this is actually going to create the install.wim file for you, and you're going to save that somewhere. Then this Dism export image, this is the conversion tool from that converts WIM to ESD, but you can skip that part. Right, and then the oscdimg, this is the last step. Let me just show you quickly that ESD file. So when you download Windows ISO from Microsoft, so I just unpacked the ISO file here. It's just a standard installation here. Come to sources, then you go down to install.esd. So when you download the ISO, it will have this ESD file in there. I've never seen the WIM file in here. I think they only use this because it's better for downloading. It's smaller. Anyway, there's that. Right, so this command, basically, once you have your WIM file or your ESD file, you're going to copy it into the sources folder. Just copy it in there, especially if you modified it. You put extra programs in your WIM with your initial preparation that you don't want to lose. So once your installation is finished, you will have that program pre-installed. Otherwise, you can actually just just leave that step. You don't have to do that step. And then the answer file, you just copy it here into the root of this. Then once you've done that, you can run this oscdimg command. What this does is it repackages this into an ISO file, and you can use that ISO on your bootable flash drive and install Windows, or on a virtual machine like VirtualBox, or a deployment, so it can deploy to many computers. And that is basically that we're gonna do. Okay, so I'm gonna quickly show you how to download Windows 10 and Windows 11 using the media creation tool. Now this is a Microsoft tool, obviously. So to do this, just come through to the Microsoft site. So if you want to download Windows 10, I'd have two options. So there's an update assistant. This basically just updates your Windows to a newer version. And then the second one will actually download the media creation tool, and then the media, after running the media creation tool, it will then download an ISO for you and make it bootable and create a bootable USB drive for you. So it's pretty cool. So you can just download it there. Windows 11, it's got three options. So the first one is just to update from Windows 10 to 11, so it will be streamlined. You run it and it will do everything for you. The second one is the media creation tool, so you can go that way if you want to create a bootable USB drive, or if you want to use a VirtualBox, a virtual machine, or just another option is they give you just the ISO, so you can purely just download the ISO, which is pretty cool. So we're going to focus on Windows 10 for now. So if you run the tool, so it will run. Right, so just accept. So in this window you can either just upgrade it, so it will upgrade your 10 to 11 seamlessly, or you can create a bootable USB flash drive, a DVD, or an ISO. So obviously you want that one, and click next. Right, so you can select your language here. Gives you only Windows 10 there. I think Home and Pro, all that is included in there. Obviously architecture 64-bit, or recommended settings. Next. So here you can actually plug in a USB flash drive bigger than 8 gig, and it will create all the files on there for you to install, or you can just download the ISO file. So you can just choose. Obviously in this case I want the ISO file, and you can choose next, and yeah, just save it to where you want to save it. Do I want to save it here? Windows, do I have one here? Yeah, just save it there. And now it will actually start downloading Windows for you. And that's it. So after you've downloaded the ISO file, you can either install it using a flash drive on a computer, or on a virtual machine. And then once you've installed Windows, you can install your own programs, modify Windows a little bit, and then capture the image. But if you're not going to install any programs or install anything on Windows, you might as well just skip installing Windows, but you still need the WIM, the WIM file. So install.wim. You need that file for the answer file. But if you look at let me just quickly show you where is my ISOs. So this is the file that I've downloaded. So let's go for this. So if you double click on the ISO file that you've just downloaded, it will actually load it into some virtual DVD drive. And then you come to sources. Just open your DVD drive. This is your installation files. Open sources and then scroll down to install.esd. As you can see here. So Microsoft basically use the ESD format. It's more compressed and easier to download. That's why I use this one instead of the WIM file, install.wim. So in this case, if you're not going to install Windows, but you want the WIM file, you need to convert this ESD into a WIM file. So that's very easy. You can just use, let me just see now, use this command. So it's Dism command. Dism export image. I'll put it in the description. And it will take your, this is the path to that install.esd in that ISO file. And then the destination file, this will be the install.wim that you want to create to use for your answer file. But it's important to check the source index, because that number there corresponds to the type of window that you want to install. So Windows Home or Pro. So to find out which number it should be, there's another command that you need to run. I know it's commands, but it's way quicker than installing Windows. So the other command to check that for is dism get wim info. And then wim file. So this will be the path to this section. So on your DVD drive, sources, and let me just see, install.esd. So it's that same path. Just type that in, press enter, and now it will show you all the different windows that's inside that ESD. So one is Windows 10 Home, and then it goes through, and then Windows 10 Pro is 6. But you have to check yours, it might change. So if you want Windows 10 Pro, just make that a 6. And it will convert your file into WIM file, and that's it. Good stuff. Okay, so we're gonna prepare a Windows so that we can actually capture the image after this. So we're gonna prepare it and then Sysprep it. Let me just open it quickly. Where is it now? So we're gonna take this, make an image, and then we're gonna have an image that's ready to be installed like we want it. So this is a fresh Windows 10 install. There's nothing on there, and you can go ahead and install the programs that you want. Let's just install something. I've got the Brave here, the Brave browser. So we're going to install that, and after we Sysprep, capture image, and once we get to the step where we reinstall, we're going to see if it actually kept this program on yet, the Brave browser, just to test it, because Sysprep can do some funny things. It definitely deletes user accounts. So if you have programs under user accounts, you know, it will definitely delete them. Other things, yeah, so I don't want to, I can literally just go and Sysprep my machine with lots and lots of programs on here. So you don't have to download an ISO from Microsoft and have a new install. You can Sysprep your own system and make an image, and then you'll have all your programs, but it will delete your account. But if you install the programs under all users, then they will still be there. I haven't tested it really, but this is more made for a clean install, so it's better to to have a clean install of Windows. Right, so after this is done, even the settings, it will revert back to, after Sysprep, it will revert back to the normal settings. I mean, I can delete this. I think this will, if you delete this, it will actually not come back. So you can do a few things to prepare it. So we'll just wait for Brave to finish. Mm. All right. It's installed. Let's change the icon quickly. Now, change the icon. Make it blue. Right, so once the program is installed, you can run your Sysprep now in the next part. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to Sysprep a machine or use Sysprep. So it's basically system prepare. It's going to strip an existing OS of all identity of IDs like hardware, if it's tied to any hardware, so that you can install it on pretty much any machine you want. So just open Explorer. So install Brave, so you can actually make an image of this. So it strips all that away, but it keeps the software intact. So just go to Windows and then System 32, and then down here you'll see Sysprep, and run Sysprep. So you want to select the enter system out of the box experience, so you can have that whole initial startup screens where you choose your language and all that stuff. And then generalize, this is actually stripping all the IDs away so that you can install it on any system. If you don't do this, it's not going to do that, and you might run into problems. So you can choose here to reboot, shut down or quit. I'm just going to quit. It will quit out of Sysprep and not restart the machine. So let's do it. And there it goes. So we'll wait till that finishes, take a while, and then we can move on to the next step. Dism is the next step. Good. Okay, so the next step after Sysprep is capturing the image. So if you're gonna do this on your machine with a flash drive, just boot it to the flash drive with your Windows files in that initial screen, and then we'll go from there. I'm gonna use VirtualBox, so it's gonna be more or less the same. So start up the machine, and I'm gonna press F2 to actually boot into that menu. Hopefully we'll go in. Let's go. Okay, so go to boot manager, and then I'll boot from my CD-ROM drive, and then I'm gonna press any key so that it can actually go in there. Yeah, DVD, go. So we want to boot into there so we can get into a command line. Okay, so once here, you can choose your language, whatever. But just click on next, and then obviously repair your computer so that we can go into this menu. So once here in this menu, you go to troubleshoot and command prompt. Now you can press is it Shift F10? Let's see. Yeah, Shift F10 to go into the menu, or just go that way. Okay, so once you're in here, you want to make sure you're in the right drive letter. So X sources is the Windows PE environment. This is the environment you see here. So it's a pre-installation environment. So let's see where my Windows files are. It's usually on C. So if you type in that, you type in directory. Yeah, so you can see program files and Windows files, but sometimes it changes the drive letter to D. Let's see what's in my D. Okay, there's nothing on D because this is my partition that I want to capture my image to. So you can't capture the image to the same drive that you want to capture. It's just, it will corrupt the files. So let's go back to C. So obviously if your C is your D, you need to capture your D. I'm capturing my C, right? So let's Dism into this. So capture image, this is the command, and then I'm checking down my little notes, ImageFile. So this, so minus D, the storage area is D. Yours might be E or whatever it is. You just have to check. So D, right? Sure, I can't type. I'm just gonna call the actual capture file install.wim, and / capture the directory. This will be my C drive, so I want to capture the whole C drive. Right, add, and then space, and then / name this file. Right, I'll just call it like Windows image, put a quotes in if there's spaces. Right, / and then you don't have to do this, but you can compress the image file. I have to do it, my space is a bit limited. Max, so compress max, and then it's a good thing to check your file integrity. So but you don't have to, so just type in CheckIntegrity. So this will check the integrity of the files during the capturing process. And then there's another one called verify. This will verify the image after it's finished. Verify. So let's see if this will run. Wow, it runs. I haven't made a spelling error. Right, so this is gonna take a while. Okay, it looks like it completed successfully. So let's just make sure. Right, there is on my I'm on my D drive, my partition, and there's the install.wim. Oh, thank God. Sometimes it just fails over and over for no reason. Well, there's a reason, but who knows what it is. Anyway, let's move on to the next step. So now you can just exit out of this. Let's see if we're gonna type an exit, and then you can continue to Windows by pressing this, or just turn off PC. If you continue to Windows, it's gonna run through the OOBE first, set up all that stuff again. Yeah, good. Okay, so in this step, we're gonna convert the WIM, the WIM file, into an ESD file. So you can skip this step. You can use your WIM file in your installation. It doesn't matter, but I'm gonna convert it to ESD because it's got better compression. So you will have a smaller file. It's more efficient. So you need a command for this, and you need to open the ADK. Let's go to the ADK folder. So Windows Kits, you have to open deployment and imaging tools. Just run this as admin. So you have to open this tool to run that command. So the command, I'm just gonna copy it here. I'm not gonna type all that now. Paste it in here. So let's just go through the command quickly. It says Dism export image. So export image is the function that's gonna convert this whole thing. Source image, this is basically your WIM file. So this is the path, and there's the install.wim. I just copied it to the desktop. And then SourceIndex, that number there will actually specify which Windows you want. Do you want Windows Home or Pro? Now you can actually check which number to type in running this command. So in my case, mine is a bit stripped down. I think I've done something to the image before, but there's the index, so there will be more indexes and more detail. So I'll show you quickly a file how it should look, and you can just choose which one you want to install to convert to. Right, where's my... Okay, so you can run that command to see which version or which index, and then obviously the destination image file where you want to convert it to. So I just call it install.esd. So from install.wim to install.esd, and then compress recovery. This compresses it quite nicely. So let's run this command, see if it runs. Yeah, it actually goes. So this will take a while, and then I'll show you when it's done. Okay, so we're gonna set up an answer file now. So this is the difficult part in a way. Okay, so I'm just gonna show how to set up the answer file, and then I'm gonna import my own answer file to show you what settings needs to be changed to have an unattended install. So okay, once you open this, okay, this will be, once you've installed it, you can just come down here in the start menu, and then Windows Kits, open that, come down to the bottom, and it's Windows System Image Manager will be there. Right, and then create or open an answer file. You can just left click there, say new answer file, or come here, new answer file. So it's gonna say all this. Do you want to open a Windows image now? Okay, so obviously you need to open your image here as well. Let's just say yes, and that install.wim file that you've captured earlier, just load that image in here. So where is this one? Yeah, this is definitely mine in a way. So it's going to load that image in, and then we're going to check it out. Right, so once your image is loaded, it will show you this part. This is my WIM file. I just called it Win10. So here you have components and packages. So just open the components. Let's make this a bit bigger. Drag this a bit so. Right. So on this you have your answer file, your Windows PE, generalize, specialize, and the OB out of box experience. So we're gonna add just a few to actually automate your install. So there is loads of stuff that you can do, but I mean, that's too much. So if you want to add something, so let's just see the one that we want to add. I'm gonna load my file now, but because I can't remember which ones it is. But if you want to add something, so I know this is the one of the components that you want to add. So set up language. So you just come down here and then you right click and you have to add this component to your answer file to actually start working in it. So you will see add setting. So it will do this automatically. So this is 1 2 3 to 7 and it will add it to the right place. So add setting to pass 1 minus PE, just click on it and it will add all the components in there. So if you click on it, you will see on the right all the stuff that you can actually change. User locale. So this is so it's like language. Obviously the language, usually it's American. It's something like this format. So English, US. This will already automate that part now. So it's quite easy. So if you just go through it, so this is how you do it. So just right click, add it, and it will add it on this side. So I'm gonna load mine now to make this easier. Okay, so it's all loaded up. So now you can see the ones that I've actually included is under WinPE, Specialize, and out of box experience, OOP system. So now to go to the places that you have to add them, let's see. So if I open that one, you can actually see the name here. So Microsoft Windows International Core WinPE Neutral. Maybe you should just enlarge this. Do that. So now we're gonna look for that name, International. So Microsoft Windows International. Is it this one? Core WinPE, that one. So this is the first one you're gonna add. So all you have to do is just add that one. So right click on it. As you can see, add setting to pass 1. That is pass 1. It will automatically put it in there. And put that setup language in there as well. Let's just drag this back a bit. Okay, so then the settings in this first one, the main one, you can just copy the settings here. So it's all American English. If you want to put in your language, you can do that. So it's input language, system locale, so the location, and UI language, whatever that is, and user locale. So just all in US or the one that you want to put in. Right, moving on. Set up UI language. Again, just EN US for that one. I think that one is default. Right, then we come back, so we're done with that one. Then the next one, we want to include this module, Microsoft Windows Setup Neutral. So we're gonna have to look for it. So Microsoft Windows Setup. So let's just see if it is Microsoft Windows Setup. So is it this one? Yeah. So Microsoft Windows Setup Neutral. So you can, let's open it. So this configuration, image install, user data. So you don't want to well, add the first one, add it, and it will obviously add all of these ones. I'm going to show you if it adds all of those ones. So your list will be way longer, but it will, the box will be light blue, bluish grayish. So if you haven't set any settings in there, it will be like that. If it's dark blue, that means you have kind of edited. So anyway, if it's light blue, you can just delete it. Obviously, after you've edited everything, you can delete it. So the first one we want to do is this configuration. Now, I've struggled days with this one. Literally days trying to set this one up. Because in if you're using Windows 11 especially, with the GPT format and not MBR, Windows 10 can still use the MBR and GPT. With GPT, it needs at least 3 partitions. The 4th partition is for recovery, but you don't need that one. And then MBR needs 2 partitions. And I've created the partitions perfectly. So obviously disk configuration, disk, and then create partition. You create 4 partitions. So you can actually just right click on create partition, insert new create partition. So you create 3 or 4 of them if using the GPT format, and then you're gonna have to put in all those settings, but I have not been able to install Windows this way. As soon as it get to the part where it wants to create the partitions, it just throws out an error and I can't move forward. So I've struggled for days and I couldn't figure it out. If you can figure it out or make it work, that's great. I couldn't, so I just fought by myself. Let's create 1 partition and see if it works. And so I've created this 1 partition. Create partition order 1. So obviously you're gonna, if there's no create partition, you're gonna create and insert a new partition. And then this is the settings. Extend true, so this will be the partition that all of your Windows files will be installed to. So extend true, that means it's gonna dynamically increase the size as it needs it. So make that true. The order is 1. So it's the first partition and the only one. So you're not going to put in the size because of the extend. You can put in a size if you know exactly how much space you need, but then you need to set this to false. And then type primary. So all the 3 other partitions that Windows create automatically is MSR and EFI. So this is the partitions that it creates, you know, for that initial install and so on. I can't remember what they all are, but anyway, this is the first partition, then the only partition. Then you go to modify partition. If there's no modify partition in there, just say insert new partition, and then this is what the partition is actually going to do. So in this one you set the format, obviously NTFS. The label is Windows, because this is where you're going to install your Windows 2. Drive letter obviously C. There's all the drive letters, but it's by default C. The order is 1 because it's the first drive, and then the partition ID, which is that one there. So it knows to select that one, 1 1. So that's all you have to do, and this actually worked for me. It just installed. Right, and then we can actually close. So let's just leave it open. Then image install. So this is all under Microsoft Windows Setup Neutral still. So we can open that, open it. Yeah, so it will create this automatically. So all you have to do is install 2. So it just tells tell it where to install Windows and to what partition. So it's obviously partition ID 1. So disk 0, because it's disk 0, it's the only disk, and then partition 1, and that's it. Right, and then user data. So this is all in the Windows PE section, which is the pre-installation section. It's that first part when you start up Windows, is going to ask you the language and all that stuff. So Windows hasn't installed yet, hasn't copied any files, it's just that section. So user data, there's the product key in there. So you can put in I'll leave in the description the Windows KMS product key page, where you can just copy and paste the product keys in here. So it's a legitimate key, but it's not a registration key. It's just a key that tells you what Windows needs to be installed. Is it Home or Pro? So make sure you copy the right one. I think it's the same key. There's one key for both. So this is just to automate the system. It's not going to ask you for a product key. That's section where it asks you for a product key. Put that in there, and that's pretty much all you have to do in the Windows PE section. So we can actually just close that and then delete all the light blue boxes, because it's gonna moan here in the bottom if you don't delete them. If you're not gonna use them, you have to delete them. Right, the second one is specialize. Let's just see what's in there. So this is in the Microsoft Windows Shell setup. Let's see where that one is. So Microsoft Windows Shell setup. Is it this one? Yeah, neutral. Lots of stuff in there. Let's see what I've added in there. Now I can adjust the cell setup. So as you can see, this is past 4. So you want to put it in the 4th section here. So not any of those, but in specialize. So you choose the 4th part, and it will put it in there. And this is for these things. OEM name. Let me just see, registered organization. I'm not too sure about this one if it's needed, but I put it in anyway. And registered owner, and then time zone. You might need to put the time zone in. So mine is South Africa standard time. You're just gonna have to find out yours. If it's the United States standard time, I'm not sure. You have to find out on the Microsoft site or just Google it. And just put that one in, because it might, if you don't put it in, it might just stop your auto unattended, that section. Right, that's the only thing you do in there. And then we come down to the out of box system. So we've included Microsoft Windows International Core Neutral. Microsoft Windows, what is it? International again. What's it? just international course, just on top of the PE, that one. So you're gonna include that to pass 7, so it's obviously in pass 7. Yeah, so once that is done, this is the pre-installation section. Then it's going to install Windows and so on, and create a partition. And after the install, it's going to ask you more questions about countries and so on, selecting your country and all that. So this is now after that section. So this section, I just put in EN, US and all of that. So input locale, system locale, language, and user locale. So it's all just EN. I just put it EN US because, yeah, it's just for the keyboard and so it doesn't matter if I'm from South Africa, it's the same thing. This number here, so just copy this exactly as it is the keyboard layout QWERTY. So if that number is something else, it will be a different keyboard layout. So you just put in that settings there. Right, then we're going to move into shell setup neutral. Microsoft Windows shell setup neutral. Microsoft Windows shell setup neutral. Is it this one? Yeah, it's this one. So what we want to include it, that's the out of box experience. So this is after that is pre-installation section. Was there a OB there as well? Well, anyway, so that was that one. Oh yeah, and then in this initial one, time zone again, just put it in there. I actually didn't put this in and it actually stopped the installation. Registered owner, yeah, just put something in there. I'm not sure about that one, just copy it as is. And then out of box experience, put all this in because I missed one and it stopped again. And every time I have to reinstall or start over. So obviously the UALA page, hide. You don't need that one, so hide OM registered screen, online account screen, hide wireless setup, that wireless setup section, you can hide that. Network location, you can actually select the network location to work or home, obviously home for me. Then protect your PC. So 1 is obviously fully protected, 3 is unprotected. So this will actually start downloading the updates and so on. Set it to 1. Skip machine OOBE true, skip user OOB true, unattended enable retail demo, whatever that is, to false. So that's the out of box experience. All that questions, boom, good. Right, then there's user accounts. Obviously it's gonna ask you to set up a user account, a Microsoft account or a local account. If you set this, it will actually bypass that and set the account. So if there's not an account in here, just say insert new account, local account. So you don't want a Microsoft account, just a local account. So just put all of this in as is. So description, main local admin account, display name admin. I'm just going to create an admin account. You can, once in Windows, you can just change it. Group administrator and name admin. And that is pretty much that for the answer file. Just these few things and it will fully automate your Windows. So the one that you might struggle with, the other ones is fine, but the one you struggle with is the partitioning. So for some reason this worked perfectly. Just create one partition, and yeah, it kind of worked. I can't think of anything else here. Anyway, if it gives you any yellow exclamation marks here at the bottom, just read and see what it's complaining about. You can actually double click on it. So what is this one? Set settings, keep user is deprecated in the Windows image. Okay, it doesn't matter now because this file has been loaded. It's all set, so just make sure there's no yellow ones because it won't save. So once that's all sorted out, you can actually just come to file and say save answer file as and save it to where you want it. And that's how you create an answer file for an unattended setup. Good. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to convert these Windows installation files that we've extracted from an ISO and put in an answer file and put in your custom WIM file. We're going to convert this back to an bootable ISO file. So we're going to need a ADK tool to do this. You need to have ADK installed on your system. Go to the start menu. My ADK is in Windows Kits and it's this one, deployment and imaging tools. Let's run this as administrator. Right, it is. So you can't use this in as command. It doesn't work. It has to be in this environment. So it's set up for that. So the command that we're going to use, I'm just going to copy it here from notes. Let's see. Ooh. Let's copy that. Okay, a little error there in my path. Let's just try it again. Jesus, at last. Let's go. Okay, so you can see the Win ISO file appearing here, so it's just busy converting it. And it's done. You can close this. And there's the ISO. So now you can do what you want with it. Put it on a flash drive. Put it in a virtual machine. And so on. Okay, so let's run that ISO. So let me just add it quickly in storage, empty CD. So we saved it. So I saved it on a desktop, but I've copied over to my D drive. There's the Win ISO that we created with oscdimg. Open. Okay, we're gonna see if this will run all the way through to the desktop, but it should be fine. And it's in the desktop like magic. Yeah, and this is the project, doing everything in Microsoft tools, no third party, using commands, all in this environment. Totally unattended install. Yeah, good. And as you can see, there is this Brave browser that we installed in the preparation of the image, and it's still there. So yeah, that's good.